Hello and welcome to Carbitrage Podcast, episode 87. I'm Erik Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Is my microphone turned off? Oh, there it is.
No,
I hear
it's
it
on.
now. Okay, cool. Anyway.
I know that's probably a concerning moment, but I'm going to turn off the fourth microphone since we don't need it this time. But
Wait,
everything else
is that Jana's or is Jana 3?
No, Jana's 3.
Okay.
You're 2, I'm number 1.
Okay.
I'm number 1.
Now we know.
Anyway, there you go. Anyway, beer, grain belt.
Green belt.
That's all we got.
Anyway, Patreon.
No, we're not doing Patreon first.
No, it's a tell them to donate to our Patreon so we can afford
Yes,
to have
if you
beer
do go to
other than-
patreon.com/carbitrage.
Or sparkling peach black tea from Caribou.
I don't
which
think the
they need to
Patreon people
have-
will get that for us.
No, but they need to have it at every location of Caribou so I don't go and get disappointed.
Oh.
Yeah, she's had a problem with disappointment.
This is
It's
the
not
first
fun
one
for
I
me.
was able to get this week because I'll go to Caribou and they'll be like, we don't have Caribou tea here.
Is it participating locations or is it a time thing?
So it's the
It's
ones with
like-
Einstein Brothers don't have it.
Huh.
So a lot of the ones with drive-thrus, just so you know, don't have Caribou tea.
It's like my
apparently.
disappointment early in the Shamrock Shake season when they have them advertised and they don't have them.
Exactly. That's how I felt all week.
That's angering.
That is angry.
I'd leave them a bad review on Google.
I'm not quite that motivated, but, it's one of those things where, okay, yes, make sure all the Caribous have that tea thing.
And please.
Sparkling peach black tea.
And yes, if you would like to support our drinking habit or give us nicer beers, do that via patreon.com/carbitrage. As an added benefit, you will get the ability to dump topics for us to cover, and eventually you will get some swag from us as well.
Yes, once we have
Swag.
enough people and get some money for it, yes.
Well, I just want to have time, basically.
Yeah.
Not yet. Soon.
Now, good news.
Okay, I'm all about good news, especially with the note.
Especially for
What's the
Jana.
last episode.
Peugeot is coming to America officially.
Yay!
Yes, this is a thing. I'm very excited. And specifically, I believe they're going to be bringing that cool 405 concept car.
Ooh.
Yes, that one.
Very
Jana, if you look at the
sexy.
screen, that one. That's
I
a
like it.
properly good looking car.
That is very nice looking.
Yeah, that's the other car I'm excited for at Geneva.
These camera mirrors should be mounted up here.
I think camera mirrors are stupid.
They are stupid,
Yeah, I
but
don't-
really
they
bad.
they should still mount them up here on the
They
fender.
look like somebody knocked the mirror off of the car.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that
yeah, it's
and,
like you
like-
just failed to duct tape it back on.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, where your eyes are really funky, I cannot look at backup cameras without them like completely throwing me off, just because of my terrible, depth perception. So like I want to see in my mirrors.
Well, luckily, most of the full I think there's only one production car right now, and it's not even delivered yet that has full camera mirrors, but it's an optional extra. And it's
Okay,
actually
good.
the Audi E-Tron, which we'll talk about at the end of the podcast.
we have to?
But these are, I'm going to just rip on it.
Good.
Which is weird for me, ripping on an EV. Yeah.
Well, it's
but so anyway, yes, it probably will have these as an option, but
I-
it's not going to be standard equipment.
I guess you could just install mirrors yourself, but where's
Yeah,
the
just
fun in
screw
that?
them into the fender. Call it good.
It will take Peugeot some time to get here, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
taken probably about 10 years or so because they have to get everything compliant and everything again. But it'll be
Just bring
fun.
them over right
To
now.
to be honest, Jana, by the time you're
right now.
Jana,
Bring the Avantime over now.
Jana, what's your once you're looking for a new car, like a new car, not a used car? Yes, that will be when Peugeot is in America.
I guess.
Wow. Last time you could buy a new Peugeot in the United States or Canada was 1991.
Yes,
That was before I was born.
I was
jeez.
alive.
I was
Yeah,
also
born.
alive.
I was born in
Barely, probably, for me, but
yes.
alive nonetheless. So, yeah, they're bringing, hopefully that, but if it's in 10 years, who knows what they're bringing. I'm sure the lineup will look considerably different.
Let's just hope for no
Yes, but-
crossovers.
But they do have a lot of cool-looking stuff.
Well,
I mean,
they're gonna be bringing a lot of city cars like 208s and stuff, and they're
Perfect, exactly
and-
what we need.
Yeah, that's exactly what America needs is French city cars. Because if you've ever been to an inner city where most of our population is statistically moving,
the third photo in this article is a 91505 Turbo Wagon.
yes, that's true.
That's very cool.
I like it.
But in America, like where the majority of our population is moving, crossovers don't work. You need something smaller. So something like a Peugeot would be perfect.
It'll be better once we get another recession and the gas prices go up again,
I
too.
cannot wait until it kills all the
yeah.
crossovers.
Dude,
It'll be the great
just-
calling.
What I get really mad because I work in St. Louis Park, right outside of Uptown, and so
St.
often,
Jewish Park.
yeah,
Yes.
I often have to go into Uptown, and I'm always followed by a giant farm truck that is clean, so it's obviously not an actual farm truck.
Right.
And it pisses me off to no end because they take up like 1.5 lanes, and I'm already feeling like anxious because I've got my giant Sienna. So I'm like, I'm already too big for this city. Why are you here? Please leave.
Yeah, that's not a good fit for that area. Those
No.
roads aren't what you call large.
Every
No.
time it's the gentrification of Uptown is bringing all these trucks in, and it's pissing me off.
What?
Yeah,
Gentrification's bringing in farm trucks?
Yeah,
Yes.
because a lot of people are moving in from like out of the cities.
Oh,
and stuff.
so
and they want to
that's
bring.
not actually their job now.
No,
No.
and so
just
now
their
and they're
vehicle.
they're
Yes.
moving to places that are like, they know are hip, and so like
Yeah.
it's well known. Well, I mean, people in the know that Uptown sucks now, but like if you live out
Here
here,
it's all about Dayton's Bluff now.
Yeah.
yeah.
But, like,
if
the
you live out
guys
in
that
Buffalo,
had, like-
Minneapolis, then you're gonna think, oh, Uptown's I heard is a happening place. They got a lot of cool bars and a Cowboy Jacks.
It is still a cool place, but I mean, it's a lot of work.
It's getting.
It sucks
pretty-
now. It's just
Northeast.
All of our favorite restaurants are turning into vegan restaurants, and that's where I
And-
draw the line.
not only that, all my favorite stores are turning to condos. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, comprehensive plan's probably doing a lot of that, which is an overall good thing.
yeah,
but
no, that's fine. But I mean,
Northeast,
like,
I think, is really on its up and up now.
yeah, Northeast is awesome, but I don't want to live in Northeast. It's too close to Hilltop and Fridley. I don't want to live around that.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to live around poverty.
When I first moved into St. Paul, I'm like, well, I'm just moving here because that's where I can afford to live right now. But like, the longer I live there, I'm like, this place is the jam.
No, I really want to live in Dayton's Bluff. I'm like, I'm like actively searching for a house in your
I
neighborhood.
mean,
hopefully it's close
unless
by.
I could find, one of those minor houses for reasonable.
Oh, that would be super cool.
I want that. Like, yeah, I wouldn't have a garage, but I wouldn't care because like
I would.
that house is designed for me.
It would turn into an issue.
It
Living around
would.
there
Janet,
sucks,
I'm not gonna lie,
but
that's
It
gonna
would,
be.
it's
but,
a beautiful
if I
place
can
to have
afford a
house.
house there, I can
Yeah.
afford a garage somewhere else.
Yes, that is
Yes.
probably true. But yeah, the first time, like I said, we were talking about this last week. I was in college in a drawing class, and we just
Yeah.
walked across the pedestrian bridge from Augsburg, and we were on this street where no cars are allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All walking traffic. It's just gorgeous. It was like fall. We
Yeah.
sat on one of these like 7 trillion benches where all these people were walking their puppers. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super unique being on a street where there aren't any cars allowed
Yeah,
ever.
we walked down it during one of the really pretty snows a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I was like, this is like what I want.
I don't know what those go for, but they are truly tiny.
They are
Yeah.
very small and they go for the same price as a normal house.
Oh,
But
I
you
would
know,
probably skip it then.
I
So it'd be
like
about the
small
price of like, like $180,000 for a house that's like maybe 1,000 square feet.
I don't think they're even that big.
I said
like
maybe
Yeah.
1,000 square feet.
I think the biggest house there is like 1,800 square feet.
That's bigger than my house.
Oh no, never mind. It's like
It'd be
I-
about 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah, I think the
1,500
biggest
is
one's
mine.
probably about 1,000.
Yeah.
Anyway,
1,500 is
I
mine,
suppose-
including the basement.
I don't know how we got there from Peugeot, but
Because you're talking about how giant trucks are clogging up city
oh
streets.
yeah.
And
And tiny Peugeots are good.
that would be perfect because
EVs
then,
are good.
yeah, you can fit like 2 like small Peugeot like 105s in the size of, in the
Or
space
better
that
yet,
would
one
hold, like,
007s.
Yeah. In the space that like one single F-150 would take. Base model short bed. Like,
I do not understand the fascination with pickup trucks.
I don't either. Like my dad's always.
I
had
like when people complain about it.
Complain about pickups?
No, when they have their pickup, this city's too small for my truck.
Oh,
See, my dad's always had trucks because he's needed them, but
Right.
he's always bought like the smallest, most comfortable.
well, he has a
family
Ridgeline,
truck.
doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
That's
he's
like the
on
most
his third or
practical
fourth
pickup.
Ridgeline now.
Which is
you know.
impressive because those things are unkillable.
He drives a lot, so he this is under clean title, by the way. He's laughing about something on my laptop.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so he would drive it. I think he leased his first one because that was when the Ridgeline first came out.
Like
and
03
he
or
was like,
something?
I just want to test it out.
Sure.
And so he leased it, and he saw that he was going to go over the mileage. So I don't know if he bought out the lease, but then he got another. Originally he went to a Frontier just to
Ooh.
try something different.
Yeah, probably not good.
Yeah, and he didn't like that.
That
He
same-
went back to the Ridgeline, and then he bought out a lease because Ford gave him like $1,500 to buy out this lease. So he's like, why not? And
okay.
then he kept on falling out of it because it was too big. That's the only full-size truck he's ever had. And so then he went back to the Ridgeline, and he's like, nothing else.
So that Frontier that your father had, that same body style is still in production.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
it was,
can you Facebook that Craigslist ad right now at Burger so he can put that on the screen?
I'll
Because
put
we're
it
going to
in
be
the
talking about that.
Carbitrage notes.
Yeah, thank
This
you.
is under clean title, by the way.
Yeah. And the word nice is in the title.
Yeah. Where should I
Just put it in 87 by beer.
There, I see.
Yeah. I'll click on it here. I think it might have been 86. I can find it. Where is it? I saw something move.
Yeah, I moved something. I'll just undo it, and then
Do you want me to help you, honey?
I got it. It was my computer that messed up, not me.
You have two hands. Why are you only using one?
Because I only want to use one.
You
There
don't
we
need.
go.
You don't need two
Now,
hands.
click on that ad. And put it on screen grab.
Ryan, you don't have to tell me. Oh wow.
Look at the title. Read it aloud.
I'm looking currently.
Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 2006 Toyota Prius Hybrid Nice 4CY capital L car. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. $800 Fridley. 4 parts only. Description: miles 116.000. Still run, but this is for project or for parts. Hybrid. The battery is good. Doors, rear bumper, lights are good. Clean interior. For more questions, please call my cell. Thanks for looking.
And then
This thing is demolished.
And
look
my
at the title
only-
status.
Title status clean.
I'm just scrolling through Craigslist right now just for funsies, and my only search criteria right now is picture and clean. And I keep on seeing so many totaled cars.
Do you
It's
guys
like-
remember the black MRT Spider?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still have a clean title for that,
that's
Really?
hilarious.
even though it's chopped up and totaled and in the scrap heap.
I still have a
When
title.
you when you hold the title and you get a total loss payout, the title's clean. It gets
Oh.
on a Carfax, but they can't mark the title. What
Huh.
were you saying? Sorry.
As I say, I have a 93 Accord parts car. It's still in my name.
Oh,
That it's been scratched for about 10 years now, and
it should fall off after 5 years.
it allows me. Well, no,
Are you paying
'cause
tabs on it?
I just haven't paid tabs. I still own it though.
Yeah, it falls off after 5 years if you don't pay
It's
tabs.
still there. Like it's been there. It still is there. It still shows up. And so like when I went to go get tabs the other day, they say, "Is this for the '93 Accord?" And I'm like, "No, it's for the 2007 Mazda." Oh, okay. Like literally, that's
That
like
doesn't make a lot of sense because like even the 76 Mercedes, after we moved it over to Stillwater to start working on it in 2014, after it sat for 5 years, the state had no record of that car existing,
weird.
Huh.
even though it had like 2009 plates on it.
Weird. Yeah, no, mine was like they asked me about it. But anyway, I've noticed I've always been able to put collector plates on all of my cars, regardless of if I'm daily driving it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been able to get away with that. I think that car might be the reason why.
Maybe, but the collector plate law stipulates that it has to be a regular registration vehicle,
I
which that
know,
is,
yeah.
but with paid registration.
Weird. Yeah. I
But
think
maybe
I've just had
Minars.
like really like just incompetent clerks.
That is probably pretty likely.
Because I imagine it's probably just the clerk, like, you're not supposed to do this. And they're like, I don't care. I'm not getting paid enough. I don't have time to do this paperwork. Yeah. I also cannot get collector plates that are specialized.
Why?
You cannot do it in Minlars.
Yes, you can. You just can't transfer an existing personalized plate into
Oh,
a
sorry.
collector
That's what it is.
personalized.
Yeah. That's what I can't do.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to do danger zone, but it's a collector plate.
Yep, I can't do it either. So yeah, there's that Prius. I'm gonna leave that up there long enough where hopefully it becomes our thumbnail for the episode.
I hope so. Yeah, no, I was just looking through the like.
I like the mangled dealer plate on the roof.
I didn't even notice that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that definitely slid right over the structural support.
Yeah.
So that thing's probably not that
The
damaged.
engine and the motor, though.
Those are probably fine. Might have cracked something though.
Yeah.
It was definitely a hit. Definitely a hit.
It's
Clean title though. Don't worry. Anyway, I gotta go back to the notes.
Yes. Oh my God.
But yeah, that Prius, that was something pretty special.
Yeah.
Peugeot
I'm here
comes
to
to
deliver
America.
quality
Okay.
content.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was pretty good. All right, I want to move on to. It's gonna surprise all of you, Tesla stuff.
Yeah.
I put this in on Thursday. I heard a loud mooing sound coming from the peanut gallery.
It's a
Missouri.
That's gonna be our Tesla bell.
Can it just be like EV stuff, Bell?
Sure.
Because that's.
I'm gonna have it sit there and resonate the entire time you're talking, though.
Ow! I think we'll just
Stop
go,
it,
We'll just go ahead and almost mute Ryan's microphone here. That should be better. So anyway, on Thursday, I put this into the podcast notes as Tesla event news and then in parentheses update. So I just did that. I didn't know what the news was going to be at the time. I figured it was going to be a Model Y announcement, which nobody cares about because it's a CUV.
Yeah.
It turns out it wasn't. What they did is they finally, 3 years later, announced their standard range $35,000 model. And how they did that...
Is my mic back on? Yes, it is. Okay.
Your mic is bic on, yes.
Well,
Like the pen.
so I guess this now,
Bic pen.
makes our guest Eric's Model 3 slightly more worthless. Because now
I don't think so.
Instead of having a base model or a high trim level model, he's just
Because the old base model had a lot of options.
not as collectible, I should say.
I don't think any of these are collectible, sir. These
It
are
might be in the
washing
future.
machines.
In the future, it'll be maybe.
I don't think so. Maybe like a first year, like
early Model S with the rear facing.
an early Model S with the third row. Yeah, like a 2012 P85 with like the air suspension in the rear seat. That actually might be a cool car to just
That
like
would-
have someday.
I think anything with a rear-facing third row is gonna be collectible.
I found rear-facing third rows on Carpart.
Will that bolt into your Model S?
I think so.
We should try to do that.
So I might just have to like buy one. I got to do it to Mark's car anyway because he wants a third row.
Well,
And,
that
like,
makes sense.
I don't really want one because I actually haul stuff in my car. But then I realized they fold under the back floor.
Yeah, dude,
when
do
you're
it.
not using them. So I'm like,
when
oh.
we go, if you get that, we will absolutely be going to Anchor Fish and Chips, and I'm gonna be sitting in that third row. It'll be great.
Well, we still need to go to Anchor anyway.
We do. Heck, what are you guys doing?
We're going to
We're not
Anchor
doing
tonight.
anything.
That's what we're doing tonight.
Can I come?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Let's go to Anchor then. That sounds amazing.
All right.
On Wednesday night, they shouldn't be too busy.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
no,
Wednesday
I,
night,
I
yes.
would think that the Wednesday night dinner crowd shouldn't be too bad. So, anyway, sorry. So 3 years late, they finally announced this model, which is, I mean, props to them for finally getting it done. It's actually pretty impressive to put something out like this with as much as they were able to leave in
Yes.
at
Oh,
that
yeah.
price point. But it would have been so much more impressive if it happened 2 years ago.
Well, all right. So this is the thing with Tesla and with the faith everybody has in Elon Musk. He says he's going to do something,
Yeah.
and he does it. It might not be the time frame you're hoping
Right.
for, but it gets done. And people are always wondering,
Right.
like, why the hell is Tesla stock worth so much? It's because of this.
He does realize it eventually.
Elon Musk has like the most impeccable follow through of anybody
Right?
I've ever seen in my life. This whole promise something.
Flamethrowers.
Yeah, like
yeah, the boring company, flamethrowers.
like he says he's gonna do something and he does it. And so like he's got this like series of tubes he wants to do. And I
Oh,
don't,
the Hyperloop?
the Hyperloop.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he said that they're not doing it, but they're gonna find a place
Someday.
or something to do with it.
There probably already is one. It's just not like approved.
He has a Hyperloop. It goes from like the White House
McDonald's to-
it goes from
oh.
White House to like Area 51.
Maybe. You never know. I mean, if it's going to exist, it will be done on the hush hush with government contracting funds because that's where
sure.
the money is.
Yes.
But anyway, back to this thing once more. How they were able to do this is they cut the base Model 3 range from 240 to 220 miles. And then
That's
they
it?
took out the
Only
power
20
seats.
miles?
Yeah, they took out power seats, power
Perfect.
steering column, give it
Perfect.
cloth seats, took
Perfect.
out nav,
Perfect.
Like, this is the perfect stripper.
That's awesome, actually. It's
And
like
they'll
everything
add-
I want.
And they'll add all of that crap back in for $2,000 if you want.
I don't want any of that.
Except for maybe the range.
With the range, maybe. I'd rather have power. If I can get power over range, I'll do that.
Well, I think they kind of go hand in hand
Yeah,
just because
yeah,
the bigger
sure.
battery can dump more current.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is.
Whenever you talk about range, I think of this like video clip that surfaces around the internet of somebody like pretending to be a famous singer,
Okay.
and they're asking the person in an interview about like these other singers, and they go, "Oh, she hasn't got the range. Love her, but she hasn't got the range."
Oh, the vocal range?
Yeah.
Like, I do adore her, but she just hasn't the range.
Yeah, so whenever you talk about range, that plays on loop in my head.
If someday maybe I'll get like one of those MPC soundboard things where we can load clips into it, and we'll load
do
that
it.
in for you.
Yeah.
Like,
She hasn't got the range.
she hasn't got the range. I adore this girl, but
So,
she hasn't the range.
All right, so you were saying there's going to be
Should I get the
Tesla
bagpipes?
EV news, and I was about to be bored out of my mind. I'm actually extremely excited about
Dude,
this.
and you can still get a tax credit on these too for right now. Right now, you can pick this car up, MSRP 35 minus $3,750 until June. But Scott found this. There's a $1,500 destination charge on this car, which is pretty substantial. So
Yeah, that's
really,
insane.
after tax, title, and everything, you're at like 37. But still, as a financed amount for like a brand new rear-wheel drive EV with more than 200 miles of range, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Do you
that's actually
think
really good.
they
Props
did
to them.
this on purpose to extend the tax credit?
No,
No?
I think they did this because the demand
Okay.
for the pre-orders on the existing Model 3s
Oh, that makes
or
sense.
the orders was falling
To
off.
just
So like,
relieve
well,
it.
now we have to give them this. In addition to that, what nobody's really covered that I've found is Tesla also dropped the base prices for the Model S and X like $10,000.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
that's awesome.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so
That's
now
a
they're
whole car.
those
another
are
car worth.
undercutting like used ones now on the market. So like you can pick up
That's awesome.
a brand
That's
new
great.
75D Model S for 70, I think.
Wow.
I still don't get why people get so mad at Elon Musk. I'm like, want him to go away? Like, I do not. Like, I think he's a necessary evil. Like, it's totally fine. Like, he's a
He's
dick. but, like,
creating instability and change, which is great.
no, I'm 100% okay with him.
And how they did this, from what I gather, is they're eliminating showroom sales entirely.
Yes.
So it's all internet sales now.
And Piss Strikes doesn't have a job, so that's great.
Is that what he did at Tesla?
I think he
He
did.
did sales?
He did something like that.
Well, if he loses his job, just all the better, I guess.
yeah, even better. Yeah, more power. Yeah.
I mean, karma works in mysterious ways, but so yeah, that's great news. I would much prefer all of this to the Model Y. I mean, that's coming too, but there you go. You can now actually buy that $35,000
Can we
before incentive.
refresh my mind what a Y is? 'Cause
Model
the-
Y is the okay. So Model X is to the Model S what Model Y will be to the Model 3.
Okay.
So the beluga whale built on the small, good driving car.
Okay.
I can't wait till they're done with that, and we'll finally have the sexy roadster Tesla.
Sexy.
Yeah,
Sexy
Is that because
roadster
it's got
Tesla.
an iPad that you can sext on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because
My web browser doesn't work.
actually, because
Ooh.
yeah, they
now
have,
you
they
can't
have
load Pornhub.
No, I got to figure out how to do that.
so
Darn.
yeah, because you have sexy, and then they're gonna make another roadster, so it'll be sexy roadster. What a great ad campaign without even having to do ads.
You're welcome, Elon Musk.
Yeah, I'll receive my royalties in gold doubloons.
Oh, sorry. One more thing I forgot. All previously sold Model 3s also got an over-the-air range update to add
Oh.
10 to 20 miles of range to those things. So
That's
there you
really
go.
cool.
The
It-
fact that that's possible is a little stupid to me, but whatever.
Yeah,
That just
it
means
is.
that they undersold you on whatever you had before. But I don't know. I'm all for that. That's great.
So, speaking of things that are great
Yes.
and perfect vehicles, Jan told you that all my things I'm talking about. Ooh, a Type 3. All the things I'm talking about are your kind of stories.
Yeah, you've been pumping. I had to drive from downtown St. Paul over by where Berger lives and to Bloomington to grab my laptop to
Mhm.
here. And that was a long drive just for this news, guys.
So, the Mercedes G-Wagon
Yeah.
does have independent front suspension now, finally, but it kind of sucks. It's a bummer. However,
So is this a W465 then?
this is the new one. It's still the G-Wagon, it's still just as off-roady, but it got almost perfect scores by Ncap crash tests. They said it was like the perfect car, basically.
That's incredible.
Perfect.
Did it beat out like the EV stuff, which is always like
Yeah.
super high and mighty and
Yeah.
smelling its own farts?
So,
That's awesome.
a vehicle.
This is a strangely mesmerizing GIF.
I know.
So the vehicle scored a 90%, an 83%, and a 78%.
Wow.
It got 16 out of 16 points for adult occupant protection.
Wow.
And a full 8 for child protection.
These need a third front windshield wiper.
Yes, it does. And then it also got a 72% on safety assist, which is like all your active safety garbage.
Okay, so this is an SUV that is safer for people than.
This is the thumb in the eye to everybody that says crossovers are safer than SUVs. Fuck off and die. You're wrong. That exists.
Also, go buy a Mercedes G-Class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand. If you are buying a SUV, you go buy a 4Runner. If you need something nicer than a 4Runner, you go buy a Geländewagen. If those don't
The
fit,
G-Wagon's more than twice the price of a loaded 4Runner.
no. 1 second here.
Okay.
Now people say, well, I don't like either one of those. Then fine, go buy a wagon of some sort
Yeah.
because that's the way the world should work. Like, that's what you need. You have
I think
your
that should be option 1.
You have your utilitarian SUV. You have your nice SUV. The crossover has no business existing.
I agree.
And then you just
We
have
agree on this.
a wagon for anything else. And if you need a truck and you need to have, you just go buy a F-150 or a Tacoma or something.
Or a
like,
Rivian,
yeah, or a Rivian, which when that eventually comes out. But
which
like,
will also be expensive.
it's just, I don't want to. This is just a perfect example of why crossovers are stupid and shouldn't exist.
I found a Yugo GV on.
Yes,
On Craigslist.
Get a
it's-
G. We need a GVX.
I know,
We
but
need
I
the
just got excited because I
extreme.
saw Yugo.
we can easily swap a GV to GVX. You need a rear sway bar
No.
No.
and a
No, they look different on the outside. They've got cooler wheels and like a body package.
Yeah, you get the body package.
No,
you get,
I just gotta buy a GVX.
But I'm glad that there's finally good news about the G-Wagon, not people just driving them off of parking ramps.
Why?
those are good news because every one of those people have lived.
Yeah, that's true.
I
but
was just worried because like there were mumblings last year, like, is the G-Wagon dying?
No,
like,
it's
no,
not.
those sell
Absolutely
really
not.
well, so they're not dying.
The G-Wagon is not dying. Like, that G-Wagon will be around forever. It's like saying, is the F-150 dying? No. There's no chance that the F-150 is dying.
Oh, there's more Ncap videos. We gotta watch these. They're crash test videos.
Yeah.
Euro Ncap.
For safer cars.
Test
Oh
2019 Mercedes-Benz G-Class 5-star. Ooh.
Wow. That thing hit like 50.
That looked expensive. Wow, no cabin intrusion at all.
That's amazing. The doors didn't move. So what we're watching here is it's a video of a G-Wagon crash tested at 55 miles per hour into a concrete wall, nonstop, with a 25% overlap or something.
That's small front overlap.
Yeah,
test,
small front overlap, and there's no deflection at all in the body panels beyond the fender. Like,
Wow.
you
yeah.
could- you could
oh,
still-
look at those poor wiper blades.
yeah, it was
but
enough.
the windshield's fine.
Yeah, nothing broke, but what
That's
Yeah, the
incredible.
Starbucks is still standing.
you can literally cut everything off.
What's the Starbucks rating on this vehicle's crash test?
Well, the thing is, you can cut off everything from the
This is
A-pillar.
a PSL.
Everything from the A-pillar forward can get cut off on this. and it'll
Why
be
is there a
perfectly
child
fine
driving that
vehicle.
G-Class? Did you see that? It was like a child driving that G-Class.
For
There-
it's North Korean
it's for
crash
me.
testing.
Oh. A Welshman.
A Welshman.
Why do you look like that? I'm Welsh.
Look at the side impact.
There's just nothing.
It doesn't move. It's perfect.
So this is what the military needs these again.
Well, the German military has these, and that's why nobody dies in the
That thing's
Wehrmacht
like not even
anymore.
totaled. Yeah.
Yes.
300,000 miles.
The Peanut Gallery says that's still worth 25 grand. That's
Oh.
wow. Look at
What
that.
sort of crash test is that?
That's sliding into the corner of a building where they basically are like a tree. These are amazing.
How drunk would you have to be? What is there? Why is there a wrecking ball? Okay, why is somebody punching the bumper?
That's for pedestrian safety.
Oh, this is dumb.
Well,
Auto emergency brake.
that actually, the fact that it even works is pretty amazing. I mean, this is
It works really poorly on the BMW X1, as we found.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually unlike a BMW. So, further proof that Mercedes is actually better than
These
BMW.
are all very careless pedestrians.
I think this is proof that.
This is maybe one of the best videos I've ever
I
seen.
know, you're gonna have to send this to me.
All right, we're gonna watch this one more time.
So
Amazing.
the fact that the Geländewagen has scored this well in this test is further proof that BMW is not the company that it used to be anymore, and the one true luxury manufacturer in Germany is and always has been and always will be Mercedes. /Fred.
Mercedes.
Mercedes is just
They just had to
better.
put an EV drivetrain in that, and we're
Yes.
set.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
it.
That's set. That's it.
What's
I
the
would
thing?
pay so much money for an EV G-Wagon.
Well,
Mercedes, listen.
While Audi and BMW are
Jana makes
busy,
7 figures Mercedes.
I do.
Well, Audi and Volkswagen are busy fucking around with, whatever they're doing with all the new tech. Mercedes is sitting here with a vehicle they designed in the 70s, and they just continuously improve upon it. And that's kind of been Mercedes, their whole MO historically. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't make a V8 until the late 60s.
You're right, because
And-
it wasn't perfect yet.
No, it wasn't perfect yet. They
And other than
used,
the 380, they've all been really good.
yeah, and they haven't used. They didn't use.
I think the child shot's coming up here.
they didn't use.
Why is
anything-
there a child driving that G-Wagon?
That's supposed to be
It's
a
in
small woman,
case
I think.
your child steals your G-Wagon.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
okay.
it's
Theft protection.
like in the 80s, they didn't mess around with electronic fuel injection when GM had their Crossfire, toilet bowl, whatever garbage.
Yeah, but EFI was pretty reliable in the 80s.
But that's the thing is, I'm just saying that Mercedes historically, until something is 100% proven, they don't move on it.
Yeah,
Like-
CIS was never 100% proven. What?
Paint.
Paint?
Paint,
Oh.
that's true, yeah. All right, so
Yeah.
they had their era.
They had their paint perfect until 1994, but that was a standard imposed upon them by some of their government.
Yeah.
With the
Exactly.
water-based paint.
That's true. That was imposed upon them. And
Pipe test is just every.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that pipe.
Paul Walker test.
the Paul Walker test.
This
Yes.
is the ancient tires, the dry weather check tire test.
The dry rot supercar tire test.
I like this punching test. This is mesmerizing.
Sometimes for fun, Ryan and I will just have these videos playing in the background when we're doing other work because they're just like relaxing to watch. For some
It
reason.
is.
If
It
there
is
was a
actually-
good hour-long compilation of this stuff,
Yeah.
I would totally leave it on all
Yeah,
the
well,
time.
It's
watching-
cathartic.
Watching like crash test videos does feel really good.
Are those dummies animatronic?
Yeah.
Yeah, animatronic dummies.
They broke into the Pirates of Caribbean and stole the
They
entire ride.
they stole Disney's.
All right, I guess we won't watch it a third time. But
Oh,
man, that G-Wagon, that's some good stuff. Oh, it's built by Magnus Steyr now.
It always
Yeah.
was.
Oh, I don't know.
So, Burger,
Yeah.
you've been talking a lot about Teslas.
Yeah.
So,
Has
what gives?
something hit home?
Well, they've had a lot of news this week, on the Model 3 and the
Yeah,
price
but has
reductions for the
something
S
hit,
and
has
X.
something hit home though for you?
Well, no, not really. I bought one.
Oh, you did. Did
Yeah.
you bid snipe it?
I did.
Oh, from an online auction?
Yes, but it was a local person selling it
yeah.
on an online auction site.
Perfect.
So I didn't have to drive very far.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I bought a 2015 Model S 70D.
Oh, excellent.
That is probably replacing the Fiat.
Probably.
Once I pay off the Fiat, I could just keep it.
I would keep the Fiat.
It's
Now-
just so expensive to insure.
Well, you don't have to insure. You just drive it once in a while, and then you insure it when you drive it.
Well, yeah, I guess. I'm currently switching insurance companies, so I don't know if that's going to be easy to do with the new company like it was with the past one, but
So,
I'm sure
hiccups
for
now.
you they'd make an exception
Now-
because of all of your vehicles.
Maybe.
with your whole thing going on here, going from a cute, lovable Fiat to a Tesla, I feel like you're gonna have the same issue as when you went from like your MR2 to your Ferrari. Not that it was a direct comparison, but you went from a car that was lovable and fun to everybody assuming that you're a douchebag.
I am a douchebag.
Assumptions may be right, but
I fly under the radar on the Fiat because nobody assumes you're a douchebag.
no.
driving
The
that
thing
car.
is, when you drive a Fiat 500e, everybody goes, "Oh, look at the cute little Fiat." You come rolling up in a Tesla, you go, "Fuck you!" and they give you the middle finger.
You're gonna be like the best old man ever, Ryan.
He is. He's gonna have a cane, and people are gonna be like, "What happened?" And he's gonna be like, "This is just for fun."
Oh my God, were you in a war or something? Nah, I just hate you.
and that's
Making his little Ryan noises.
that's why I'm saying I would keep the Fiat because the Fiat's gonna bring joy to people. And I feel like the
But
Tesla.
I don't need two EVs.
No.
He's got.
You also
the-
don't need two cars with 12 cylinders, and here we are.
You're forgetting he has a BMW 2000.
2002.
Yes, 2002.
Yeah, you don't need any of the things you have. Like this entire garage.
Blah,
Like,
blah, 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 can't
a
hear
1M
you,
is
blah,
not a
blah,
necessity.
blah, blah, blah,
A
blah.
355 is not a
Yeah,
necessity.
but it is.
An 850
That's where you're
is not a
wrong,
necessity.
buddy boy.
An E30 M3 is not a necessity.
Yeah,
Brexit is
yeah,
not a
yeah.
necessity.
This
Mr.
Yugo
Wags.
only has
Brexit could go
18,000
away.
miles.
Brexit could go away.
Mr. Wags is not a necessity.
You take that
Your
back.
2002 is
Mr.
not a
Wags
necessity.
is a necessity.
Mr. Wags is a necessity.
And I'm not even getting to your brother's cars. Like, none of this stuff, or your father's car, none of this stuff is a necessity. But the thing is, you like
The
it.
simple, bare necessities of life.
Yeah, like your 2001 M5,
2000.
which I've never seen you drive.
Well, it's because I got it a day before it started snowing.
That's
And we've literally not had any nice days since then.
That's true.
Also, the fuel is extremely low because I filled it up with non-oxy in Iowa, and I opted to not put a full tank of ethanol gas
That's
in it.
smart.
I hope it makes it to the gas station in the spring. It's that low.
I'd bring a fuel can with you.
Nah, I'm gonna wing it. I got AAA that covers free fuel.
But I will say
Oh,
that the
that's
Tesla
awesome.
is a very, very cool car. I've been in them. I like them a lot. Everybody that says otherwise has not been in one. Like it's
Yeah,
just,
pretty much. If you hate a Tesla, you just
It's-
haven't used one enough, I guess.
it's like
You can hate the company, you can hate the owners, absolutely, but the product itself is actually pretty.
it's like
good.
an 88 through 99 or 88 through 2001 Honda Civic. Like
Yeah,
everybody that's ever been in one that's in even halfway reasonable condition
like
likes
this is
them.
surprisingly
Like,
good.
You
Yeah,
can't dislike it. Like you used to hate on them so hard until Trailer Park Girl got one for a winter beater, and you're like, "This thing's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you." Like they are
that
great.
'93 four-door DX.
EX. It was EX. It had VTEC. I remember.
It was not an EX.
Oh, it was not. Okay, disregard.
DX. No, that thing was a turd, but it drove
Like
surprisingly
you
well.
got it was enough to get the point across.
I mean, yeah, that was a $500 automatic four-door, no option Civic, and it was like,
the least,
you know, it's fine.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like for a $500 car, like, but that's like,
We made so much money on that thing the spring after. It was ridiculous.
but like, yeah, those cars, like, it's just one of those cars where there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly good. Oops.
Good
It's a
steering, pretty good
perfectly
power
good car,
output,
like,
nice
for
sound
what it
even.
is.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
interior was very comfortable, drove well. Yeah, no, I mean it's just a good product, like you
Like,
said. It's
yeah,
not
there's-
necessarily inspired.
Other than like
But-
subjective issues with the car, which like nobody's gonna agree on, like objectively, it's a perfectly
There
good
are
car.
things I've noticed on that where I'm like, I get that this was a kind of a first gen product from a new manufacturer. Like they did not figure out how to seal up taillights
No, yeah.
or headlights and things like that. Like there are a couple of like plastic trim clips that aren't perfect, but like for the
Yeah, but
most part, the quality, the interior
My
in that
Mazda
thing is
does
nuts.
that.
I know.
Like,
it's
I
no worse
I
than
I washed a 2017 Golf yesterday at work when we were done working on it.
yeah.
And it had condensation inside the taillight.
And that's the thing. It's just, I mean, I'm sure they're made by an OEM. I don't think Tesla makes their own taillight.
Yeah,
Maybe they
I don't
do,
think
but-
I really don't think that any of these issues, like, I mean, Tesla's, they're doing fine. Like,
Right.
There's no different
I think
than
when-
what I've seen from other manufacturers. I think that Tesla does the same thing that Volkswagen does, but people, for whatever reason, give Volkswagen a benefit of the doubt.
Well, I think that's just because it's been around longer, potentially. And I think where the quibbles really happen most on these products is when it comes down to like a quality issue or a fitment issue or an interior issue like that. It's on the $150,000 ones, which have the same interior as my $70,000 one. So like
Yeah.
you accept a lot more. You have a completely different set of eyes looking at a product when it costs half as much. Or
And
you're
when
willing to accept these.
I guarantee you there's still Audi R8s that still have headlight condensation
Oh,
or
for
taillight
sure.
condensation
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
I think that Tesla does fine. And honestly, a lot of $150,000. How many $150,000 cars made outside of Germany are terribly reliable?
I don't actually know the answer to that.
I don't think there's that many.
Also, I bought an American car for the first time ever,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really weird, yeah.
right?
To
That
be
is
fair,
really weird.
to be fair, if I was going to buy an American car
Yeah.
made after the Korean War, there's a very high likelihood it's going to be a Tesla.
I love
I
how
gotta
you-
ask, what were you gonna buy pre-Korean War? And I know I'm contributing to my own demise here, but
I really want a shoebox Ford. Really want a DeSoto sedan. And those are post-war.
I thought the shoebox was pre-war.
Shoebox is 47 to 53.
Oh, fine. I
it-
don't retract that.
It also killed James Dean.
Yeah, it was a shoebox Mercury that killed James Dean
Bastard.
in his Porsche, which is less reliable.
Those
I
don't
want
even
the
have
Porsche.
flatheads.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
But they'll stop in the 50s?
50,
Oh, you're right,
53.
53.
53 is when they switch over
Okay.
to the Y block.
Oh, but that EAB flathead.
Yes.
What a beauty.
And then the other ones, of course, would be probably I'm hemming and hawing here, literally.
The Hemmings? Hemmings and Howings?
Well, Hemmings has a lot to do with this. I would probably say, just because I know it's to trigger you the most, I'd really want a Duesenberg SJ dual cal Phaeton.
I don't even know what that is, but definitely worthy of a breast. Oh, man, did we break the bell?
I think Jan just broke
I'm
the bell.
sorry.
No, we're good. It just
Okay,
stuck
we're
down.
good. And then
Uh-oh.
another one up there would be a Mercer Raceabout and a Stutz Blackhawk or Bearcat.
Stutz Bearcat.
Yep, Stutz Bearcat, and then
All right, you know, I'm sorry I asked. I thought I could handle this, but I just can't. I am not strong enough to handle the level of
at least I only did one per decade.
Oh my god.
high praise coming from you, my man.
Could have been way worse. It totally could have been way worse.
Oh my goodness.
Do they still perform
Well-
lobotomies legally?
That is a tangent.
What?
Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to keep the Fiat yet or not. I still really love that car. There's aspects of it that I prefer to the Tesla still, but just the Fiat's such a good car.
It's been endlessly reliable.
I don't get like, even the gas ones I've had have been superb.
And that kind of leads me to my next, point I really want to make here is what the hell's with Fiat always being at the bottom of Consumer Reports?
I don't know. They've got the 124 Barth manual's got the longest lot life of
Yeah.
any new car for sale right now
Yeah.
in the country.
For some reason, and it's a great car.
It's a great car.
And then
the
you-
500s, other than the fact that they have not touched the design in a decade.
It's fine. It's whatever.
I know, but like that's why it's not selling in volume here.
But well, not only that, they also keep just, I'm gonna say it, lying about the quality of the car. Like, yeah, okay, it's got kind of a chintzy interior. Okay,
But for the price point, a $15,000 car, that is not a bad interior.
I will take a 2010 Fiat 500 over a
2012 first year.
sorry 2012 Fiat 500 over a 2012 Volkswagen Golf 2OT any day, because I know that 2OT is just gonna be an awful sack of shit. And I know that Fiat 500 is going to be perfectly reliable as a sunrise. It's going to be great.
Those powertrains, man.
Like, it's a really
Even
great
that,
engine.
That Eisen 6-speed auto, sealed trans. You cannot service it. Even if you want to, you can't. I tried one time on a friend's car.
You
There
just can't.
are automatic Fiat 500 NAs out there with like 170, 80, 90,000 miles. No problems.
And that's really, really awesome. And I think that,
For $1,800.
yeah, I would really recommend that. There's a very high likelihood that my next car is going to be a Fiat.
They're so good.
So I've been looking at Yugos now. And so I-
Basically just an old Fiat 500 that was made way worse.
And so I looked up Yugo GVX for sale because we need a Carbitrage
extreme.
Yugo GVX. And the first two results was Bring a Trailer from a 2017 and a Jalopnik.
Jalopnik.
Jill Pupnik?
Yeah. And
Oh, I get it, because it's what you read when you're
yeah.
pooping.
Yeah, that's
Anywho,
true.
I don't like them anymore because they're like
Jalopnik.
the art-
Japlopnik. Oh, we should have named the podcast Japlopnik.
but yeah,
Shoot.
the title of this article is "Would you pay $5,500 for a rare fancy pants 1988 Yugo GVX?" And the answer is yes. Of
Not
course.
written by Jason Torshinsky, shockingly.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like-
5,500 is a lot unless I think it's mint.
It is,
it
man.
is.
To
Okay.
be fair, I'd pay
was on
$5,500
Bring a
for a
Trailer.
Yugo.
But that's 1 point.
It's got
That's
loose-
205 GTI money.
That's true.
1.6 GTI money. Right hand drive. Not the one you want, but still a 205 GTI.
All right, so what I'm going to say here is
No.
this is why for the longest time I would only buy Hondas. Is what would you rather get for your money? Would you rather get the very best of something or the absolute worst? I am in the party that I like the very best of something. If I'm going to spend
You have the very best minivan.
yes, if I'm going to spend $4,000 on a car and I'm going to get the very best Honda CRX as opposed to the very worst Supra.
Right.
If I'm going to spend $5,500, I'm looking for an older European hatchback that's going to be, like a collector car, I will get the GVX before I get the very worst Peugeot. And the reason
It's
being...
still going to be a pretty nice 205 GTI, but yeah, it's not going to be like a mint factory
And
fresh
that's
Yugo
the thing.
GVX.
This is to be the one that's going to be really nice. You can take it to car shows. You can show off and flex in it. And it's actually going to appreciate in money.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if
GVX Flex.
the term flexing in a Yugo GVX has ever been like said before.
Well,
you gotta,
at least in this
have
hemisphere.
a jumpsuit.
Yeah, a jump. Yeah, you have to have a
Flex.
tracksuit.
Tracksuit, that's what it's called. sorry.
Yeah, I'd flex in a GVX. Absolutely.
GV Flex, yeah.
Oh,
A
that
GV
needs
Flex.
to be a
That's
car-
what the X is for. The X is for flex.
I think this needs to be a
X is for
Carbitrage
flex.
like bumper sticker. Flex in my.
Just
flex
do
in
one of
my
like the
GVX,
outline
yeah.
things of a Yugo GVX and like
GV
the X
Flex.
is for flex.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine any of their trademarks or anything are still active, right?
No,
Maybe?
because they were trademarked in Yugoslavia, which is no longer a country, and they are. When Zastava is still around, but I don't think that.
Well, the Yugo part though, like we could probably just have GVX in
Yeah.
it and then have.
Well, not only
X's
that,
for flex.
Zastava has like zero market here in the United States. So long as we aren't marketing to Russia, we're fine.
And it would be for clothing, not for car stuff. It's probably okay.
Yeah, it's 100% okay. I'm gonna make a car brand that's 100% just like ripping off Yugo now, because there's no way I can get in trouble for copyright
The
law.
Japlopnik Pugo.
I like that.
No, yeah. Anyway, back on topic of the Fiat 500 though. No, the Fiat 500 is a car that totally gets a bad rap. Like another car that is like the Tesla Model S or the EFEG EK Civics. That's one of those cars where I've never been in one with somebody and they had a bad review for it.
Right.
Like every single person.
I mean, initial quality back in early 2012, there were issues with some adhesives and things like that, and like just early car manufacturer stuff.
Yeah,
I
whatever,
get it,
but
but
it's
like,
like-
nothing mechanical.
It's like one of those Rotten Tomatoes reviews where it's like the audience score is like at 90% and the critic score is 42 or something.
Yeah, I don't hear genuinely bad things about those cars.
Yeah, in all honesty, I never have and I never will.
To you, Consumer Reports, and everyone else that rates the Fiat 500 poorly,
Get your shit
stop
together.
it.
Yeah, get
It's a
your
good
shit
car. Go
Anyway,
drive one.
Let's move on to our next thing.
Yeah. So I want to cover a quick little Patreon topic, and that is why do modern cars, for the most part, seem to not have advanced much beyond the top speed barrier of about 220 miles an hour that we achieved in the early 1990s?
Tire.
I don't think
Technology,
it's
I think.
tires.
No, because it's not. Because we definitely do have tires that can do it.
Yeah, we have tires that can do like 270, 280 now.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was when we went 220 with the
XJ220 and the EB110 and the McLaren F1.
yeah, with those three of like a ton, and now we are at 245, and we got the Koenigsegg, and we got the Bugatti, and we got
Right, but the McLaren
Another
F1 did that
Koenigsegg.
in 1996 or something. It did 240.
yeah, but I mean, like if you think about it, like back in the 50s to the 60s, we only went from like 120 to 155,
Right. But
or
the-
125 to 155.
The horsepower
sorry.
output from the 1950s to the 1990s is incredible.
The two cars that did it was not that large of a difference. It's an XK
But-
120 versus a Ferrari 250 GTO.
Right.
Like they weren't that huge a difference in power.
But I mean, okay. So what I want to touch on is like let's take the EB110, the XJ220, the McLaren F1, and let's compare them to the Agera R, a Wyra.
A Wyra and
Let's not do a Chiron. That's too fast. That's in a completely different echelon. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
an outlier. Which we should probably ignore the McLaren F1 in that case too, because that was kind of an outlier. It was much
Yeah.
faster than the other two.
Well, I think all right. So the thing is with the F1, like, that was the first real hypercar, and
And it was the only NA one in the bunch.
it's historically been the only NA hypercar. But I mean, like, if you're gonna ignore that, you should just ignore hypercars as a whole. I think that's the thing. The whole thing with a hypercar versus a supercar is that the hypercars are the ones that are, trailblazing, actually doing stuff. Whereas supercars are much more of a fashion statement or like it exercise in engineering.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the power levels when you look at the 500 to 600 horsepower supercars of the early 1990s versus the 700 to 800 probably ish you're working with, honestly, in the reasonable stuff like
Yeah.
McLarens, the McLaren, whatever it is. I think the reason why we don't see them much higher is honestly gearing.
Well, there's that. And I think another thing is the quality of life in these cars.
And reliability,
And
probably, too.
reliability, the quality of life, the amount of just extra shit that's in them. Like,
Right.
you can't really buy a Ferrari F40 these days.
Right.
Like, there's nothing that's like that. You don't have anything that's like a gutted out track car from the factory. You only have...
Unless you buy a Senna, I guess, but that's pretty limited. and exclusive.
Exactly. So, like, yeah, you have like the McLaren Senna.
And that's an outlier, once again.
Again,
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think we have the technology. We've had the technology since then. We've just been improving, so there's really no reason to go beyond that.
Well, the thing is, also in that era when we went from 120 to or 125 to 155, the quality of the driving of the car changed a lot. So XK120 really was at its heart like a MG with a giant engine in it, and a 250 GTO was an actual track car.
Right.
And then the switch from that from the actual track car to the Countach was the Countach actually had like an attempt at luxury, but it did not work. But I mean, like it's you had a lot of these things where you had these big jumps, but between the big jumps you had everything else change. It's like if you're playing like Civilization or something, the video game, and you finally reach that one technology upgrade that sends you into the next era. Mm-hmm. But still, the rest of your technology has to keep up with that era before you move on to the next era.
Right, but are you implying that like the EB110 and the XJ220 were just gigantic turbocharged nuclear bombs with like crap cans?
I think that they were. I think that the EB110 and the F1, those ones were that big jump that happened, and what they were really jumping from was from the Countaches and stuff like that of the 80s, the cars I really love, but that just objectively are not that good of a car. But they jumped from that to actually being, this car's as nice as a Countach, but oh, by the way, it also does stuff.
Well, you can commute in it, and it has air conditioning, and there's room for groceries, and it doesn't overheat.
Exactly, because I was going to say, the car's a crap can to drive in, but it's still super fast with the F40.
Yeah.
That's the one where it said, hey, here's all this racing
talk about
performance.
stripped out. There you go.
Yeah,
like the paint is too thin.
Yeah, here's all the performance that you can get. You get absolutely nothing else. And then the EB110 and the F1, they came in, did the same shit, but added some stuff in.
Well, they had luxuries. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the McLaren didn't as much, but the XJ220 and the EB110 absolutely did.
Yeah, I think that what it takes is you have your car that creates that quantum leap in that next era, and then everything else has to keep up with that.
So we have our quantum leap, the Veyron.
Yes.
Our hypercars in 10 years going to supercars in 10 years. Are they going to be able to hit 250 and still have the creature comforts and stuff like that?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I have no doubt of that. I think probably in 10 years, we're probably looking at 275. And then after that, I want to see 300 with,
I'm
before the internal combustion engine's done.
I don't know. I mean, tire technology and like even getting a wheel to last at 300 miles an hour is tough.
I know. That's the thing is,
especially something that people are going to run into curbs and they're going to put crappy Nankang tires on it.
So, all right, this is my whole thing with supercars and why I love the Countach is I want a car that does one specific purpose with complete disregard for anything else. The Countach was built for like pure aesthetics and nothing else. It happened to be the fastest car in the world, but it had one specific goal and it did that. And I like cars that are like that. I really like cars that have one specific goal. Like the F40 had one specific goal.
Be fast.
Yeah, exactly. And like, as annoying as it is, I kind of like the Veyron for that because it had one specific goal.
Yeah, but the Veyron was really good at a lot of stuff.
And that's the thing. That's why I said that one kind of annoys me. But like the whole one specific goal where you were trying to do something, just do it and worry about it. Don't half-ass two things. Whole ass one thing. Exactly. And that's what I like about a lot of these supercars versus
another good Carbitrage apparel.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We need to get
X's for flex.
We would,
Whole ass one thing.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of these hypercars. I feel like they don't really like capture that for me the way that a lot of my favorite cars historically have, because they're like a Lycan motor. Actually, a Lycan motors, that's a different example, but like a lot of these McLaren like P1s and stuff, like they're brutally fast and they're great and everything, but it's like, okay, what did you have to give up to do that? Oh, nothing. How much better could it be if you did give up something though?
Right.
And that's kind of why I like.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the Veyron 1,001 horsepower. Like, yeah, we can strap a Beijing blowjob onto an old Ford or a Chevy truck motor
Yeah.
to make 1,000 horsepower.
But like
the Veyron can do it in the cold, and
Like
it can
reliably,
do it like a bunch of times. Where that truck motor is going to do maybe 2 pulls with a really good tune, and then it's
exactly.
gone.
And I think that's kind of the thing is that, and plus I also had to like get through emissions and everything. Which is
Right, and the crash safety, and just like has a really nice interior because it has to live up to its price point.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that car is still an incredible thing. I mean, when I think Top Gear did it before they went off air with the old crew, but they named it as like car of the century,
yeah, really.
the Veyron. I'm like,
Yeah, it's the,
yeah,
it really is.
It's just, I mean, it's hard to argue with. I mean, that thing is an absolute tour de force of technology.
And the other thing with the Veyron is, again, I really have to stress. I cannot stress this anymore. I'm not a fan of that car. Like, I really, it's
an automatic, so I don't like it.
it's very annoying to me because the car should be a lot of things I like, but it doesn't do it in a way that I like it. I'm trying to figure out where I stand on that car as we speak. Really, I will not say I'm a fan of it, but like I respect it. I think that's how I'm gonna put it. But what it did is it did a really good job of living up to Ettore Bugatti's name, and that I think is the most important aspect of that car, is that like when Ettore Bugatti made his cars, like he made like the fastest, most efficient, best cars of his era, and the most grand cars of his era, and they really kind of threw all that into one car. And
Sure.
I think that's kind of cool.
And it worked.
So, yeah, it worked. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as to like why do modern cars seem to have not advanced much? I think that we're in an era where we're catching up with what we did in 2005, 2006, and then once we catch up to that, I think we're gonna get our next big jump.
Sure.
So
I could see that.
I think it's coming soon because it's about 10 years. You know.
I still wonder if we're gonna get another combustion last hurrah before we see like the Rim Aces and all that kind of just take over.
Oh, we will. Absolutely. I've got no doubt. I think that Koenigsegg might do it because they actually have the budget and Christian
and the technology.
and Christian von Koenigsegg is a human. I really think I'm gonna put my money in Koenigsegg's court. The only other person that could do it is if like Bugatti comes out like left field and he goes, "Hey, here's another like the Atlantique with a W30," and now it's like a
31.
Yeah, and now we're gonna be going 300 miles an hour, like something ridiculous like that. But I really think it's to be Christian von Koenigsegg that's gonna do it.
Yeah, I could see that. Hopefully it's the 1.1 or the Agera R or something. But
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think Christian von Koenigsegg is probably my favorite like car company guy. I mean, he's got a lot of the facets of what makes Musk's craziness appealing,
Yes.
but he's got like the solidity and like the level-headedness.
He's a Swedish
that
Elon
doesn't
Musk.
have. Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a German car company that just makes a bunch of trash. So, Audi E-Tron, the SUV, finally announced.
Hot air moving over a turd.
So, the company that is known for making aluminum production vehicles, the D2A8, back in 1999. Remember that thing?
No,
You don't remember that?
the D288.
A8.
Oh, the A8. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, that thing, 98, 99, came into production.
Okay.
All aluminum monocoque. They have
That's
the
actually really
technology.
cool.
They have the factory. It's a really good winter beater if you can 6-speed swap it. Because it's a belt 4.2. And it's aluminum. Anyway, this Audi e-tron thing is a ground-up design on a new platform that borrows from a lot of parts bin stuff, but it's a steel body. And because of that, it is almost 1,000 pounds heavier than a base Tesla Model X, which is not a light vehicle.
Why would you put a steel body into a electric vehicle?
I don't know. I can't find any good reason for that. This does have, I think it's a 95 kilowatt hour-ish, something or other battery. It has dual motors, but the motor output combined in actual kilowatts equates to like 326 horsepower. and this thing weighs more than 5,000 pounds.
It's gonna be slow as shit.
But does have like a boost mode where it can like jam more amps at it. It's like 400. It still does 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. But this
Hey,
thing is
remember-
just
one
heavy,
second.
tippy.
I've been saying,
Dumb.
leave it to Volkswagen to make an electric car unreliable. I think that this is gonna be it.
What,
Like-
by putting it into sport mode, just overloading these poor little
Yes!
motors and burning the windings out of them?
Yes, because it's got this
Probably.
giant, ridiculous steel body. I figure Volkswagen is inevitably the company that will make, like, they will make a tree unreliable. Like,
Our wood trim is starting to like rot.
they like if Volkswagen like chemically engineered a tree, like through CRISPR method to make a tree live through anything, they'll find a way for it to like die in 5 years, like every time. I've had zero faith in that company.
I think the reason why they did it though is because everything from the styling to the materials it's made out of to the interior to the suspension, everything is, if not a carryover from a gas model, it's exactly the same. And that is to get people weaned over from TSIs into EVs without any fuss. They're not taking any risks like pretty much all other EV, sub-brands or...
Just do it. Take the risk.
I know, but like apparently they claim they've done a lot of market research and the people that actually buy Audi CUVs, which are not bright folks, want this.
It is to be fair, I do hear a lot of hype from my customers at work about this, and it's fine because I'm happy that once we move to EVs, I will still have a job.
Now you're just going to be replacing motors with burnt out windings because they're hauling around a small Georgian tower block.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, and they're gonna be put into boost mode to get on the highway for any reason at all. Like I like my
Like
zero.
we were talking about a couple weeks ago, I guarantee those high voltage cables that are almost always copper, they're going to find a way to make those out of aluminum and make them smaller so they burn out and work harden.
They're gonna be made out of copper, but they're gonna have that biodegradable wire shielding, and the whole thing's gonna light on fire.
800 volt DC system
Yeah,
with
it's
the
a fucking
biodegradable.
kill somebody, and Volkswagens have to go to court again, and it's just gonna be
gonna be-
another problem with Volkswagen.
You heard it here first. 2030 Volkswagen Auto Group Cablegate.
Yeah, exactly. I'm calling it right now. I've got zero faith in this company. I don't get why people have any faith in them. Oh, they're better now. No, they're not. They've never historically been better. Like, ever since the founding of Volkswagen, they've been made of shit. Like, they were founded by Nazis, bombed out, went away. All right, they come back. Now they got the Beetle. Okay, well, the Beetle I can't see out of the back window. I have to redesign the whole rear end of the car. Okay, so that's pretty minor. Oh, but now the back seats on the air-cooled Beetles fall in on top of the battery terminals, light the whole car on fire. Real thing that happens to them. That's why whenever we have them in our building, we take the back seat at work and we put it in the floorboard so it doesn't light the whole building on fire. Actual thing. After they did that, they had the Mark I Golf. Mark I Golf was pretty good, but hey, they made the Dasher, which was a giant sack of shit. That's why nobody even remembers that the Dasher exists. Then after the Dasher, they had the Vanagon, which sucks top to bottom. Then they had the Eurovan, which sucks top to bottom. They had the Mark III that just rusts in half immediately. They made every single Audi ever, which all collectively suck, with the exception of the Audi Quattro Coupe. I don't understand why anybody even
And then
buys
we
a
get to Mark IV,
Volkswagen.
Can we get
biodegradable wiring
Ryan
harness.
a soapbox to send him to
This is great. We're
Euroworks?
covering the history of the Volkswagen Compact right now.
Yeah, right there. That's one of the things from Scott's thing. I just covered all Volkswagen. It fucking sucks, top to bottom. For the last 80 years, they've been nothing but shit. They always will be, and they're just shit cars. But you know what they do a really good job of is they make their
Marketing.
shit. They market the fuck out of their shit cars. They make them really pretty, and they make cool colors, and that's why people buy these pieces of shit. And when I bought one, I knew it was a piece of shit, but I'm like, you know what? This piece of shit looks really cool, and look at this. I've got a GLI. It's so awesome. And then one day I was turning right
And
to
the
go
door
from
flew open.
to go from 35W south to 494 westbound. The door flew open. My seatbelt failed simultaneously. My throttle stuck. The car tried to kill me. I hate Volkswagen. They suck. I'm done. Get the bagpipes.
Okay.